welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. Today I'm going to look into the question, what is your potential? So we have 4 different groups. The first one is this rough Amethyst, then there is Lapis Lazuli, then we have Shiva, Lingham, and blue lace Agate. This one always just keeps rolling. Stay. Okay, so take a while to pick your pile. And we'll start with group 1 with the Amethyst. So I'll just pull all these ones to the side. Okay, so this is the group 1, that's Amethyst. I'll put it just here. So what cards do we have? So there's Messiah. Void, of course, Moon, the Moon in reverse. Let's actually do it this way. 7 of Cups, the Hierophant in reverse, Vague, Halite, and Oak Tree. Let me just check if they're in the frame. Just put more. Let's pop them here. Okay, I think that looks good. All right. So, looking at these cards, what is your potential? To me, with these, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, I can see that your potential is to realize when nothing will come out of this situation. Looking at the Moon in reverse and the Fake card, it feels like, sometimes people hang on to different situations, they hang on to different people, they hang on to places where they live, cities, they hang on to jobs, because they cannot let them go, they cannot realize that it's time to let go. There nothing will come out of this situation, that there's nothing else that you can do in this situation. So with the Moon in reverse and the Vague card, to me it feels like you are able to see things for what they are. Because the Moon in the upright position, it's about illusions. It's sometimes, at night things look different, things feel different. You don't have all the information that you need, so it might be vague. But since you have the Moon in reverse and the Vague card, I feel like you are able to see. You are able to cut through this vagueness and then realize whether you should stay in this situation or whether you should let go. Let me see. So with the 7 of Cups, I feel like there might be a lot of choices. There's so many different things you can choose from. You have those 7 cups, there's different things in them, and it can be a bit vague, it can be confusing. It is a great thing to have different choices, but sometimes it stops you. It takes your time to think about what is in each cup, if you should go with it. So it can create this sort of fog where you cannot decide. So that's why I feel like the potential here is being able to cut through all this vagueness, all these different options. I mean, yeah, it's great to have options, but you have to know when they are confusing you and when they are helping you. Same with this Oak Tree is in reverse. To me, it looks like you have to know when things will be able to grow properly, when there is some sort of potential, if there's enough potential in things. And if it's in reverse, I mean, Oak Tree, it's all about strength, it's about durability. An oak tree can live for hundreds of years, but I feel like if it's in reverse, something is blocking it. So as I said, you are able to see whether there is this potential in this acorn and whether you should put your time into it, whether you should, take care of it, or whether you should move on because there's nothing else left to do here. Then with this Messiah card, for the light attribute, it says serving humanity with humility. And for shadow attribute, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. And with this Hierophant card and this halite, to me the potential here is to do with your environment. So with halite, it's all about cleansing because it's salt basically, and salt is used for purification. So you are able to check your environment, check yourself if you are living in a healthy way or if there is something that needs to be purified. And with this Hierophant, because it's in reverse, I feel like you are not doing this in some traditional way. You are doing it in your own unique way. So you don't really follow the tradition, you don't follow the institutions, you don't really follow the rules. So in reverse, yeah, I feel like you do it your own way. And with the Messiah here, it's serving humanity with humility. So I feel through seeing clearly, through recognizing what is worth all this effort and what isn't, you can serve humanity. Of course, it's not that you will say, okay, there's no potential, I won't help you. I feel like it's still keeping that sensitivity, that empathy, but not feeling that, okay, I'm the only one who can help people. No, it's about, how should I say this? It's about starting with yourself, serving yourself first, focusing on what is worth investing time and effort to, and then through that you can help other people, you can serve humanity. And what I feel like is that if you serve yourself first, if you increase your own vibration, if you clear anything that doesn't serve you, then it also benefits the collective. So it doesn't have to be that you keep helping others, but by helping yourself, it's like you are raising your vibration, and that in turn raises vibration of the collective. Actually, let me see what the booklet says about this card. Okay. So, halite is the master cleanser. So it draws out impurities from your physical, energetic, and soul bodies. It dissolves old patterns, negative thoughts, and toxic emotions, promoting emotional well-being. Halite stimulates the meridians and grounds the healing properties of other crystals. And for the soul path, we have purification and spiritual discernment. So for me, that's the spiritual discernment. You know when it's worth to invest into something. You see the potential, so that's your potential, seeing the potential. So you don't have to waste your time just doing things that will not grow, things that will not evolve. You can cut through that mist, that night. You can cut through the vagueness and all these different options. And in this way serve others. Let me see what else is here. Yeah, I mean, in terms of this void, of course, moon, it's about in horary astrology, when moon makes no more aspects to other planets when it's in the same sign. So sometimes it's about waiting. It's about waiting for the next cycle to start. So it's not that you're forcing something no matter what, that you keep doing it even though you know it's not going to bring any results. It's about letting go, and it's about understanding that there are cycles. And this is not the end, you just have to wait and a new cycle will start, and it might be even more beneficial to you. So for me now, I just got this idea of like planting acorns in the wrong season. So you might, I don't know, if it's winter and the ground is frozen and you try to dig it up and you try to, plant that acorn, it's not going to grow, you're just going to waste your time. So instead, you have to wait for the right time. So I feel like this is the potential here, recognizing when is the right time, having the clarity instead of the vagueness. And if there's anything that doesn't help, any thinking patterns, anything from the past, even from past lives, you are able to purify this, you're able to do some sort of detox so that you don't have to go through this again. And you do that in your own way. It's not some sort of plan that somebody else already did. It's not this mainstream way. It's your own thing, because you know within you how to do it. And I would say the Seven of Cups also shows a lot of potential. So even though things might get a bit confusing with how many options there are, and that you can't really focus, I think it shows that there is potential in different things and you're able to see it. But I quite like this moon card here. That's saying that you just sometimes have to wait and wait for the things to clarify a bit. You don't just rush and then make a mess. I think that's some really good cards here. So just to summarize, the potential here is to see clearly. If there's anything vague around you, if there's lots of different options, some old patterns, some old, ways of thinking, you are able to see clearly. You are able to wait. You know when the cycle is appropriate. So instead of doing it right now because you want it, you can just wait for it to change so that you will get the most out of it. And by doing this, you're also helping the collective. Because if you work on yourself, you also work on the collective in that way. Okay, so that's it for group 1. Thank you very much, and I'll move on to group 2. Alright, so here is group 2, Lapis Lazuli. It's a really nice stone, I really like it. I like the color. Well, blue is always nice. Okay, I'll just pop this here and let's check the cards. So we have Alchemist, Communication is key in reverse, we have Nervous, 6 of Wands, we have Black Tourmaline. Wait, how did I spread it in the last one? Oh well, doesn't matter. Then we have 5 of Cups in reverse. I think I found it this way. No, wait, it was this way, I think. Okay, let me just check if it's in frame. Okay, more or less it's fine. Alright, so for group 2, what is your potential? So with this Alchemist card, straight away I can see it's about transforming something. So taking one thing, working on it, taking it through different stages, and then making something else out of it. So let me just read the card. So for light attribute, we have transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. And for shadow attribute, there is misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. So if we think about alchemists in general, it's about taking lead, a really heavy toxic metal, and then transmuting it into gold, which is really, well, it is a really precious metal. It's worth a lot. So here, wait, let me just look at the other cards because there's so much. Okay. Yes, with that 5 of Cups in the reverse, I feel like the potential here is to turn whatever you have left. So if there's any grief, if you have lost something, if you had 5 cups and the 3 spilled and you have only 2 left, you're able to take the 2 that are still standing and transform them into something even greater. So you don't keep dwelling on it that, oh no, I have only 2 cups left, the 3 have spilled and I've lost so much, and maybe I've spent so much time, I don't know, filling these cups, but now it's gone. So no, that's not your mindset. You are able to be like, okay, well, I still have 2 cups left and I can do something great with that. And you can see here with this person mixing things, and she's holding 2 things here. Well, she still has 2. There's some more here, so I don't know, maybe 5, but she's still using the 2. So yeah, and I feel like by taking just these 2 cups, there's a great potential here because you have 6 of Wands. You can really make it work, you can really make it successful, you're victorious here. And with the Strength card as well, you're able to turn loss and grief into real strength, because now that you know how it feels like, you're able to work on these emotions step by step, and then that's what gives you real power. That's when you know how to tame that lion, something that was scary before, something that you weren't sure of, something that's just wild. You know how to approach it, and you do it in a really calm way. And with this strength, you know, you feel like you have achieved something. You're victorious. Another potential I see here is with the new moon in Gemini. It says communication is key. And then we have nervous here. So the way I see these 2 cards working is that Gemini is actually, as a sign in astrology, it's responsible for the nervous system. And communication is a really Gemini thing. It's about talking, it's about getting these pieces of information out there and collecting them, passing them on. So here I see, especially with that leg as well, there is a big potential for movement. But movement in terms of communication. The thing, I feel like the reason why this is in reverse is because sometimes there might be too much of it. That nervous system gets really overloaded with information and all the communication. But I feel that with this leg oracle card, it gives you mobility. You can move. It's not about just physical movement, but you know, this piece of information can really reach a long way. And sometimes, if you think about even the internet, the news can travel so fast. Imagine, I don't know, how many years ago when there were no telephones, you had to write letters. It would take weeks to actually get some piece of information to another person. And now it goes there. So I feel like the potential here is to communicate, to let it just reach people in a really fast way. I mean, there is this nervousness, there might be too much at times, but I feel like it can really reach far. And with this black tourmaline here, it's all about protection. So even though there is a lot of that nervous energy, some maybe grief, loss, there's still protection, because black tourmaline is used for protecting your aura. It really creates this shield. So no matter what sort of information you pass on, you are still protected. It's a really useful crystal to have, especially if you have contact with other people, if you work with people on a daily basis. Let me check in the booklet, because there's always so much information here. Okay, it says that black tourmaline absorbs negative energy and affords excellent energetic protection, enhancing your physical vitality. So it's about neutralizing toxic energies from your environment, shielding yourself from ill-wishing or EMF stress, and detoxifying your body supports your well-being. And for the soul path, it's appropriate energy shielding and enhancement. So I feel like no matter what you do, there is this protection. So even if there's a lot of this constantly scattered energy and you feel like, okay, I want to do this, and I want to say this, and I have to know what this person is saying, you are still protected. Let me see. And yeah, even with this yellow background, it makes me think of gold. And gold is actually, in alchemy, gold is sun. That's what you want at the end. That's the final thing. That's the final stop. And by staying calm, you are able to achieve that. And here you also have this yellow fabric behind him, and you have the yellow flowers. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential here to transform something heavy, something that's not really desirable, into strength, into success, into victory. And perhaps you can do it through communication, through movement, the movement of information, the movement of energy, keeping it flowing, so that it doesn't just stay there in one place, but it keeps going around and round and round, and then that's how it changes. Okay, so yeah, I think that's a really great potential to have, to transform one thing into another, especially if that thing is not really great at first, and then through steps, different techniques, you're able to reach that goal, you're reaching that strength and that victory. Okay, so that was group 2, the Lapis Lazuli. Thank you for listening, and now on to group 3. Alright, then we have group 3. So this is the Shiva Lingham crystal. I'll pop it here and let's see the cards. So we have the networker, adjustments are required, flamboyant, Ace of Cups, Agate, that's Judgment, Knight of Pentacles, and the Stone. Okay, let me check if they are in frame. Okay, I think that looks good. So, what do I see here? What is the potential? So, with the Agate, I have no idea how to pronounce that. So this crystal, it's all about compassion. It's about helping people, and it's about being empathic. It's about understanding where they come from, why they are suffering, but at the same time not allowing them to, sometimes when you feel sorry for someone, when you're sensitive, you kind of take on that pain from people, and this crystal allows you to just detach yourself from all these difficult emotions. So you can still help people, but not get into all this pain, grief, whatever they are going through. And I think this is a really, really good thing, because we often get caught in helping people and then we feel sorry for them. And if you are really sensitive, you will feel the pain, and sometimes it actually stops us from helping the people properly, because we feel like, oh, I understand how they feel, and if I say this, it will make them feel even worse, or if I do this, then they might react in this way, and you kind of, I don't know, it's not good sometimes, feeling all that. So with this Agate, let's call it Agate, you are able to stay compassionate, but not get caught up in other people's emotions. And I think that's a great thing. Then with the networker card, so let's see, the light attributes are enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. And for the shadow attributes, we have conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. So here, when it comes to sharing information, I get drawn to the Knight of Pentacles, because this card, this person, he's offering something, and he traveled from one place to another to offer something tangible. And I feel like being a networker, information for me, it's not only about like letters and words. It can also be about opportunities. That's how you can network with people. One person knows this, one person knows that, and if you know the right person, then you can really earn a lot with this. However, this Knight of Pentacles is really slow, because it's the earth energy. It can take a while to appear, and I feel like that connects really well with the stone card here. So you might think, well, stone, what is stone about? I mean, it's just a rock and it stays there and it doesn't move, but it is stable. So I feel like the potential here is that when you are offered something, if you have some opportunity, you are able to just stick to it. You're like a stone. If you set your mind to something, then nobody can move you. Nobody can shake you. You are, you have your mind straight on the target. Of course, there might be feeling like, okay, you're not flexible, but I feel like this is a really positive thing, because it's really easy to be scattered, to go from one thing to another, be like, okay, I like this, I like that, but don't do anything about it. And sometimes the time you spend jumping from one thing to another, if you would stick to one thing, even doing it super slow, even doing, really small progress, but doing it every day, it will amount to something greater. So I feel that here, this potential of sticking to things, of just being like that stone, nobody can move you once you set your mind to something. That is possible. That's really good. And here we have adjustments are required. Yeah, maybe you're too stubborn, but I guess since it's upright, it tells me that if the adjustments are required, then you can do it. You'll do it in your own time, but eventually it will happen. So it's not that you're just stuck there, but if it's important to you, then you will do it. Then with this Judgment and Ace of Cups in reverse, I feel like these two actually go well, because in the upright position, the Ace of Cups, it's about inspiration, it's about love, it's when emotions can flow freely, but in reverse, it's blocked. So I feel like this is not so much about you, but it's about other people and how you come in with your compassionate nature, and you understand why they are there are those blockages, why they cannot express themselves fully. So you can understand them, you can help them, and in the meantime you create some network between all these people, but you are not sucked into this, you don't get blocked yourself. Yeah, with this Judgment card, if you look at the Rider-Waite imagery, there is, I think it's like an angel with a trumpet, and it's like announcing something. And that also makes me think of the networker, of sharing that information, sharing some sort of opportunities with other people. And here, you have, I suppose, the God, the I, and you have three different people. And to me, it feels like it all starts here, and then it's as if you have the lines that connect these people. They might not be related to each other, but they are all connected to something higher. So I feel that with this networker, you are connected to perhaps the spirit, you're connected to this higher source, and then you're able to create links between different types of people who wouldn't be able to connect directly with something higher. It might not be the quickest, but it is really reliable. Let me see, we also have flamboyant. So perhaps you do it in a really your own style. You can, show yourself. Your image is also interesting. It's something different. But let me think. Let me actually check this card. I'm curious what they will say about it, about the adjustments. Okay, so I have the booklet. Let's see, so that's the third quarter moon. Oh, come on, where is it? Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so it talks about that, additional meanings. Your life might be out of balance and this may be causing your issues. It might be time to hatch a whole new plan. Something new and exciting is around the corner, and trust may be required to move this situation forward. And it says, I am re-evaluating this situation. Okay, so it's about thinking, where are you heading? What is the next stop? You can see the past, but what's next? And I feel like the potential here is that you're able to feel that. You can see that. So with the networker, you're able to connect all the dots. Even though it's not exactly obvious to other people, by that network of people and this whole, it makes me think of the spider web. It's as if you can see the whole and you see how things are related to each other. That's how you can see what's next. And then in that way, you can help the people. You can be like, okay, there's this waiting for you, there's this offer. Or, linking people together and helping them to unblock whatever emotions, whatever thoughts they are holding within. But yeah, it's not this swords energy. It's not about intellect. It's not about thinking. It's more about this feeling that, okay, I feel that this is how it should be connected. So even though you cannot really explain it in a logical way, you are still able to connect with something higher and then make the links. Anything else? Yeah, but I feel like even though you are connected to something higher, you are still practical. You have the Knight of Pentacles, you have the stone, so you're still grounded in the reality. So that's why you can actually achieve something with all this networking, because you know the right people, you know how to interact with them, you know what's coming next, you know when to adjust, when to be a stone, so that people won't push you around. But if change is necessary, then you will do it, and then you can do all that while staying compassionate but not absorbing. Yeah, actually that's what I think now. It's like when there are emotions overflowing from other people, you know when to say, okay, no, that's enough. I have to close myself off, because otherwise it's just going to flow and flow and flow, and we will all just drown in the emotions, and whether it's positive or negative feelings. I feel like you're able to just say, no, it's not my emotions. I understand what you're going through, but I just don't have space for this in my life. I don't have space for this pain, especially if you're working on yourself. If you are working through your emotions and then somebody comes in and dumps all the negativity to you, you can say, okay, I get it, but I don't want it in my life, you know. You stay compassionate, but you detach yourself. So I think this is really positive. So I would put, perhaps, do it like this. So these two cards go together. And then these two. The networker. Yeah, I feel like the information, it might be spiritual information. So that, you know, you're able to wake people up with those information, just like in the Judgment card. It's like something that people are waiting for. And they might not wait for it consciously. So you might say it to them and they're like, oh, I wish I didn't know this. But then this information actually starts some sort of transformation. So yeah, I feel like you're able to give those pieces of information, that spiritual wisdom, to people. And that is an opportunity for them. And yeah, you can see here that you can see half of the moon, but then the other half is not there. But you know, you know something is there. You know that's not all to it, because you have the information. And you're telling people, look, there is more to this. It's not just half, you can have the whole, but you have to know, and this is kind of groundbreaking for others. Yeah, this flamboyant card, I feel like you have your style and the way you transmit this information. It's really flamboyant. I don't know how to explain that, but it's not that you are just, you know, like really serious and down to earth and kind of boring. No. You are yourself and you know how to go about it. So overall, yeah, I feel like that's a really great potential here with understanding people, but not letting them affect you with those negative emotions. That's a skill a lot of sensitive people should know. And then being a networker, connecting with people from different places, people with different mindsets, and creating links between them so that there's some sort of community. Alright, so that was group 3. Thank you for listening. And now on to group 4. Alright, and now we have group 4. So that's the blue lace agate. It's such a nice stone, I really love it. Alright, so let's see the cards. So we have companion, we have the end of a tough cycle approaches in reverse, we have focused, we have dawn, I'm just gonna put it here, we have Menelite, 8 of wands, 9 of swords in reverse, and a page of pentacles. Let me just check the frame. Oh yeah, you can see that. Good, good, good. Okay, so what is your potential here? Let me see. So with these 2 cards, actually these 3, I see there's a really big potential in terms of the material plane. So here we have this card, tough, the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. It's in reverse. So I feel like sometimes you might not notice it, but to me Capricorn, it's all about hard work. It's about just climbing that mountain, because the mountain goat, that's Capricorn. They just keep climbing the mountain no matter how steep it is, and they just achieve whatever they want. So here I see that you can be really focused when you have some sort of goal in your mind. You will go for it, and you can see how this page of pentacles is looking at this, well, pentacle. You know, if you have this pentacle in your life, you just focus on it and you work on it. You work, and you work hard. So I think that is a great thing. And in terms of cycles, so it talks about the end of a type of cycle. But I feel like if you are so focused on work, you really want to get it done, you really want to accomplish something. But then we have dawn. So you are aware that after some tough cycle, you know, something new will appear. So it's not that you just are depressed about the fact that, okay, it's hard work non-stop. No, you know that now it's time for work, but then a new dawn will come, a new day will start, that some things end, some things start. And while you can work on things, then you should put the time and effort. So if it's, you know, daylight, then you can get a lot of things done. Let's say, I don't know, in the past when you had fields. Maybe, yeah, it's a strange example. But you can't really work on your field when it's nighttime, you know? So you know when is the right time to do certain things. So you can notice that, okay, now I have, I don't know, 3 hours. So I can use them to do something, to, you know, get on with some work, because then later I know I will be busy, or I know I will meet someone. So I feel like you know how to manage your time, you know how to manage your resources. And if you're working on it, you just go at it full speed, which I feel like it's the 8 of Wands. It's really fast, like approaching something really quick. So you know it's not going to last forever. You put the hard work and you get some great results, which is that pentacle. And you stay focused while you do it. So I feel this is really, really positive. And you're also motivated. I mean, wands are all about inspiration. It's about that inner fire that makes you go for something. So yeah, that is a great thing. Then we have the companion. So for the light attributes, it says loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. And for shadow attributes, it says betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. With the Menelite card though, it makes me think of this potential to express this feminine energy when you're with other people. So if you're a companion to someone, it can be, I don't know, it can be friends, it can be something romantic, it can be something at work. With this card, you know how to express that yin energy. So it's not all just about going for it. It's not just about showing yourself off. No, it's about letting things flow. It's about understanding. Yeah, understanding the cycles. Because I feel like this sort of like monthly cycle, yeah, it's a really feminine thing. And it's about accepting. It's about sensitivity. It's like, you need night to have the day, stuff like that, sometimes you need rest so that then you can work. So I feel like there is this balance between this really hardworking energy, this really masculine, young energy that just goes out there, accomplishes things, works hard, but then there's also this more receptive energy. So rather than constantly just, doing things, you let things come to you. And I feel like that's also a really good thing, because you can take a step back, you wait for things to settle, and then you can notice certain opportunities. You can notice that, okay, maybe I should take rest, or okay, now that I took some time off, I know where I can see that I can do this, and this, and then I can stay focused. Then with this 9 of Swords in reverse, so when it's upright, it's about anxiety, and when you worry a lot, it's this constantly, like, you have a feeling that something is out there to get you. Something that's just thoughts that don't stop. They keep just rotating in your head all the time. But in reverse, let me think about this in this context. Let me think. So I would say it's, how to recognize that you are entering this sort of mindset, and you know how to block it, because in reverse it's blocked energy, which I think in this situation it's a good thing. So if you notice that you become actually, I don't know, maybe obsessed with work, and you just, it's tough, and you just keep working, and you're like, okay, have I done enough work? You're like, okay, wait, I see that this anxiety is starting, that this pattern of thinking is starting in my head, so I better put an end to it, and it's better if I block it, so then I can take some time to rest, take some time to just calm down, and then I can keep working at full speed. Let me actually check this one in the booklet. Maybe there's something interesting. So it is about the wise feminine. So it says Menelite has a profound connection with earth, the wise feminine and priestess power. It marks rites of passage through womanhood to wisdom. And the healing insight is maturation is a process of growing wiser. The soul and the heart do not age. And the soul path is expressing the divine feminine. So it is about processes, it is about cycles, it is about becoming wiser. And sometimes, I guess, by being a companion to someone, then you are able to learn even more. And since it has a strong connection to earth, yeah, I can see it here with the full moon in Capricorn and the Page of Pentacles. So you know how to stay grounded. you know the cycles. And yeah, I feel like that is really big potential. So you know when to work, and if you work super hard so you can get the results that you want. You can stay focused, but then you can also retreat to this more feminine energy. One thing though that now came to my mind with this 9 of Swords in reverse is that even if you block out all these anxieties, it just blocks them, it doesn't solve them. So that is one thing I would watch out for, that you can solve that thing rather than, you know, block it. Okay, sorry, I had to open the door. I had to stop the recording. Anyway, so yeah, so just to summarize here with these cards, so I think that the potential here is to recognize the cycles, know when to put the hard work and when to focus on it properly so that you can gain as much as possible. And then also expressing the feminine energy in comparison to this more active masculine energy, and being able to actually balance when you're with somebody else, or being a companion and helping them. And just being able to get on with your work quickly while blocking any anxieties that might come your way. Okay, so that was group 4. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!